Hi, it's Dee with Critical Break, and hopefully soon I'll be changing that name to House of L. But for now, until I get my artwork finished, Critical Break. Anyway, grand day to everyone, and lots to talk about today. I had a few things I was going to cover prior to the actual main topic. Try to do a little catching up. I didn't prepare any of the photos or anything that I've taken over the past couple of weeks, but I figure I've got a lot already in the stream this week, so maybe on another one. So anyway, I hope you all have had an absolutely amazing week. Mine has been, wow, kind of, well, I didn't think it was possible to have a week that was more overwhelming than the ones I've had, but this past one really kind of took it to a whole new level. um, you know, first thing I'm going to do though, see how everybody's doing and say hi. Hello, Miss Patricia. It's great to see you. So, Tony, hi. Emery's, I saw that you shared a link with me, and I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I will right after the stream. Miss Lady, it's good to see you. Very good to see fellow brothers and sisters. Miss Monica. Those that are waking up. Hello, Miss Deborah. Yeah, you know, it's a journey, everybody. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy, but it is a journey for the truth, right? Anyway, yeah, it's good to see everybody. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and kind of pick up where I left off on Monday. I was going to do a video the very following day about Adonai, but the revelations that I got on Monday via the code 2100 kind of took a while to process. Shell shock is an understatement. I don't know how many of you actually got a chance to see that video, but yeah, it was a lot to absorb for me. So I've spent this week doing that and kind of consulting with those that I'm close to, chatting with them, trying to take it all in. But there's some things I left out in that video that I thought I should probably talk about. And that's my deceased husband, David. There's a couple of things I didn't mention. First, you know, during that day, I talked about the fact that I'd been under the car, working on it, doing housework, and a lot of other things around here. It was a busy day. And when I was doing that housework, I was dusting a bookshelf. And there was an envelope sitting there. And I thought it was an envelope that my father-in-law had sent me that David's cousin had written an amazing summary of what she thought of her uncle, or her cousin, I mean. And I'll have to read that. I should have brought that for this stream, but I'll do it in another, because I'll have to go dig that out too. A lot of revelations this week, because I did some other digging and found some things that were interesting. But this envelope, dusted it off, opened it up. I'm going to show it to you. This was mailed to me. What was the date? What do I do with my glasses? I know they're here. Let's see. October the 2nd, 2017. This was mailed to me by my father-in-law. Anyway, what I held in my hand was something other than what I thought was in the envelope. This is a certificate of birth of my husband. And I got that code 2100 later that day after I had this in my hand. And I was like, that's what that is. And I promptly moved it to a keepsake box. And of course, I drug it back out because of what happened later that day. But so I got that code 2100. And you can look at the video, what the code says. Because I had been putting up a bunch of tabs, getting ready to do a stream on Adonai. Like, who's Adonai? And I've talked about it a little bit before, you know, personality and things. Who is Adonai? And I had all these tabs pulled up, getting ready to do a stream on that same day. And I got the code 2100. And in that code, it says a great deal. But the thing that stopped me in my tracks that day is it says the Lion King David is Jesus. You know, Gabriel and Ed and I have both been telling me who I am. I've got some of my memories. Not all of them, some of them. And based on who I am and all the freakish amount of synchronicity going on there, and I probably should write all those down. It's kind of been one of those things, the accumulative effect, you know. I should probably write them all down. Maybe do a video showing all the freaky synchronicities. Right down to the M's in my hands and the symbols of the goddess in my left hand. Right? So, you know, that day I was thinking about the age he was when he died, because I knew the number 33 was significant, you know, with the Freemasons and but I had not realized that was the number of the age that Jesus died. I don't know why that didn't ding, 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 ding in my head, but it hadn't. And he died at the age of 33. The date's interesting. June the 18th, 1992. He would have been 34 on July the 31st of that year. So he didn't make it to his 34th. And then that code, the Lion King David. First, let me point out some freakish synchronicity besides dying at the age of 33. His birth date, 7/31, 1958. He's a Leo. The Lion King David is Jesus. The freaky synchronicity of me just happening upon his birth certificate on a bookshelf I hadn't dusted in Lord knows how long. A lot of things get put to the side for the mission, right? So, and there's more. A lot more. See, he shares that genetics. How do I know this? Because our firstborn carries a double copy of the C677T. She got one of those copies from me. She got the other from her dad. I've been narrowing down the whole thing with the genetics and the bloodlines. Connect the dots. That's what I do best. Or I try anyway. With a little help from my friends. Gabriel and Adonai. Anyway, just reading over my notes. You know, something really interesting happened to him before I met him. He too was an ET contactee via a Frenchman that was at his place of work. The guy was from France, was not born in the US, worked with him. This gentleman took a great interest in him. took him to a really quiet bar, real dark bar, one time after work, and introduced him to 3 beings, a female and 2 males. Female was blonde, larger eyes than normal, and she did all the talking. He told me they were Pleiadians. So what did this French gentleman and the Pleiadians, why did they have an interest in David? Like I always tell you guys, never stop asking the question why, ever. But she did all the talking. She was definitely the boss. Yeah. Wasn't a male. It was a female. And she was the boss. They showed him something. It was a black box that emitted energy. You know, something really interesting is down the road, something came out called the Bloom box that looks strikingly like what he described. Connecting dots. This is about the truth, guys. You know it, I know it, we all know it, we all want it. Never stop seeking. Never stop asking the question why. Ever. We all deserve the truth. You do, I do, everybody on the planet. Because there's been a whole crap load. Or as Gabriel puts it, holy poop on a stick. He's got quite the sense of humor. A lot of crap going around. So, anyway. David. Some interesting things. You know, St. John's incarnate. For those of you that aren't aware. I happen to know he is. Many others are too. There's a reason that's going on right now. Because, yeah. Something's coming. Something's definitely coming. But I digress. I was given the numbers, what they mean, his name, his birth date. Some more interesting things come up. In Gematria, David's name adds up to 12, which is the letter L as in L-E-L, right? In English Gematria, it's 72. His birth date adds up to 7, which is a G, standing for God. His initials add up to 99. DWR. David Wayne Riff. That last name is very French. RIFF, like a drum riff or a dance riff. Interesting music is a big thing here. Frequency music. Gabriel's and I've been leading me down that path hard and heavy lately. But yeah, he was a bass player in a band called Mr. The band had a name before that called Paradox. But the band's name was Mr. in the 80s. In the 70s, it was Paradox, and they switched it to Mr. I think in 81, or it might have been 80, 1980 perhaps. Anyway, date of death, 6/18/1992 equals 18 or 666 or 9 or 72/27. If he had made it to his 34th birthday, 7/31/1992, equal 14 or 77, also 27 or 72. 77 equals Christ. Thank you, sir, for sharing those numbers with me, by the way. So, more interesting things, right? Synchronicities. Things stop being a coincidence when it happens too many times. You know, this past week's been full of a very mixed bag of emotions for many of us. Many of us. Was no different for me. Something happened yesterday. I'm not going to go into the details. But I was laying in my room crying. And every time I shut my eyes, I kept seeing his face, Adonai's face. And he kept morphing into a lion, back and forth, between his face and a lion. So, I'm going to do a share screen. Check the chat real quick, see how you guys are doing. Okay. It's great to see all of you. P. Mashiana. That's probably what they're right. Sorry. Let's butcher up names. Miss Tammuz knows me. She knows I do that. Miss Tammuz and Gina. It's good to see you. So Justa, it's good to see you. Camber. I love that name. Beautiful. Anyway, it's great to see everyone. I'm going to do a share screen and share a couple of things with you guys. So give me a sec here. Just setting things up. All right. Share screen time. You know what it is. Show and tell. I almost hit the stop broadcast. That would not have been good. All right. I'll get it together. Share screen. Off to the races. Okay. You know, this last super blood wolf moon, I blocked that moon from being used by anything negative. Something just told me I needed to do it. Don't know why. Just the birdie on my shoulder. But yeah, I blocked it. But it's a rare cosmic event because it just so happens to be this happened in Leo, interestingly enough. This spectacle overhead can shift power balances and net you some coveted attention. Well, the negative ones didn't get to use that one now, did they? We did, but they didn't. I knew there was a reason I was blocking that one. Because it just so happens to be in Leo. Interesting, right? That would have been another way for them to mock him, perhaps. So my intuition was right about blocking that one. Anyway, interesting, right? Another thing, I know a lot of you probably wonder, what does she mean by warmest fuzzies? Interestingly enough, I've been using that for a good many years. And I just wanted to share with you all what it means. Feelings of happiness, contentment, or sentimentality. Beatitude, blessedness, bliss, blissfulness, felicity, meaning felicitations are like congratulations, basically. Gladness, happiness, and joy. Okay? So when you see me say warmest fuzzies or warm fuzzies to you guys, now you know what it means. Miss Patricia shared something on their Facebook group that I was so glad to see. And thank you, Miss Patricia. That was absolutely amazing. She shared this. Anunnaki. Why Anunnaki is forbidden movie and never came out to the cinemas. Yeah. Somebody was going to actually produce a movie about the Anunnaki, but it was squashed. And it wasn't because it ran out of money. Methinks somebody doesn't want you all to know the truth. Right? I think I put, let me look. Did I put that in my playlist? I think I did. Let's look. Yeah, it's in, there's 2 videos. These first 2 I put in the playlist of under the big picture playlist. This one. Um, so that you all can take a look at these videos. But this movie was halted. It's because they don't want you all knowing the truth. Kind of wild, huh? You know, I've come a long way because when I first started this journey, uh, you know, everything you read about the Anunnaki, the majority of what you end up reading is a bunch of horse shit. And I thought the Anunnaki were the bad guys. Well, you know, the virus and their propaganda, they would love you to think that the Anunnaki are the bad guys. They're not. As I've learned over this stretch of time since I started doing the videos. Like I said, this is a process, an awakening process, and getting to the truth. And a whole lot more. Like I said, my mission's kind of multi-pronged, but the underlying agenda of my mission, and yeah, I have an agenda, but that underlying agenda is the truth. So anyway, thank you, Miss Patricia, for sharing that. That was fantastic. Anyway, I guess we will get on to who's Adonai. It gets interesting. This is the name in Hebrew. And I'll just read this off. Adonai by itself is not really a proper name, but rather a title or appellative. As we will see below, it quite literally means Mr. Wow. Here we go with the synchronicities again. Mr. My husband's band name, Mr. The name of the band that sings Kiri is Mr. Mister. You can't make this up, right? Just gets, like I said, the coincidences go beyond being a coincidence anymore. Synchronicity is a thing. And if you see synchronicity happening in your life, those are clues, they're breadcrumbs. Pay attention to them. Anyway, literally means Mr. or my lord, master or owner, and is not like the word Baal, which means the same. So it's not unlike the word Baal, which means the same thing. Yet Adon, I, occurs frequently as element and compound names. And this is what I found fascinating, is this Adonai Bezek, Jah, Cam, Ram, Zedek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, it's like I said, people don't realize that their Bible does not contain a single God. It contains many sons of those gods, many Satans. So anyway, we'll read on. The one thing I ponder, though, with these names, the Ja, Cam, Ram, I wonder if that's perhaps different archangels. Could be, right? Possibility. Anyway, Adonai is also the source of the fabricated name Jehovah. Interesting, huh? When the Masoretes wanted to preserve the pronunciation of the words used in the Bible, they ran into a problem with YHWH, the proper name of the Lord that was forbidden to be pronounced occurred. To circumvent the problem, the Masoretes inserted the vowel symbols that go with Adonai, indicating that whenever the reader saw WHYH, he had to say Adonai. When later readers saw the name WH or YHWH combined with the symbols for Adonai, they erroneously concluded that WH or YH, I don't know why I'm getting those mixed up. I don't know. Freudian slip. Who knows? YHWH was to be pronounced as Jehovah. Erroneously. Interesting, right? But it goes on. It says the word Adonai comes from the unused root of which the meaning is disputed, says BDB Theological Dictionary, and lists the following proposals. Some say it's comparable to the Assyrian word Adunu, meaning firm or strong, and the associated adverb adanis means strongly or exceedingly. Others say it may have to do with a Persian word meaning firm or fasten, and thus it means to determine, hence command, hence rule. Others still propose relations to the Arabic verb that means to be obedient or cause obedience, hence govern and rule. This verb is thought to have to do with the Hebrew word din, meaning to judge, and thus with the name Dan, and also takes the best candidate morphologically spoken. So, some interesting things there. Do keep in mind, everything in printed text of any kind, even the ancient clay tablets or any other tablets. One thing I want to highly stress to all of you is everything's been tampered with. Clear back to the clay tablets themselves. Because it would seem that there have been others, in an effort to erase the true history, have destroyed tablets and made new ones and put their name in place of the true name that should be on the tablet. Fascinating. And very confusing for all of us because we have to weed through the BS to get to the truth. So, yeah, weed away we shall. What is the Bible saying? Separate the tares from the wheat, right? All right. This is where things get interesting. Notice that, okay, in these two sentences, and he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? That's out of Genesis 15:8, King James Version. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. That's Genesis 2:15, King James Version. Okay, notice that both of these verses above included the phrase Lord God. In 15:18, this phrase is written as Lord God, but in 2:15, it's written as all cap Lord God. In 15:8, the Hebrew for this phrase is as Adonai Yahweh. But in 2:15, it is written as this, Yahweh Elohim. So, yeah, all in an effort to keep everybody confused about who's who. So we'll totally capitalize one of them and make the other one smaller, and that's how you're supposed to tell the difference between which God you're talking about here. Because as we're finding out, your archangels are gods. And ETs. Go team Gabriel and Adonai. Anyway. So, yeah. Elohim. Interesting, right? Adonai, Elohim, and Shaddai. All right. Where does the name Adonai come from in the first place? Well, here is from somebody that is Jewish, that was educated in Catholic parochial schools. And it's interesting what he says. The word Adonai comes from the used root. Here we go with the Hebrew. It has its origins in Aramaic translation of the Babylonian word Tammuz, which in turn has a Sumerian origin as Dumuzid, Sumerian term for the god of food and vegetation. This is found in a Sumerian tablet found in Nippur, near Baghdad. It is a generally misunderstood concept outside of biblical Hebrew scholars. And please note that here we go with the words that I'm just going, seriously, Septuagint, I don't know, renders Adonai by the Greek legal term Kyrios. Interesting, right? Kyrios. As in Christos. Who's the Christos? Adonai, aka Tammuz, aka Dumuzid. Let's connect some dots. Based on fleeting visions and memories, what I have of them, what Gabriel and Adonai have been telling me, all the freakish coincidences. And the M's in my hands. Symbol of the goddess that interestingly has 3 pentacles and interestingly matches up with the symbolization from Alexander the Great and his special group of Knights Templar. 1 larger star, 2 smaller stars. And these are upright pentacles, not the inverted crap that the virus does. And then the odd freakishness with my deceased husband and picking up his birth certificate and the code 2100 and the fact that he was visited by Pleiadians. And he was a Leo. And the interesting birth date, death date, and other things. The fact that I know he's one of us, he's a C677T, at least 1 copy of it. Verifiable by the fact that our oldest child carries a double copy. Yeah. Based on who I am, originally Inanna, one of my incarnations, Mary Magdalene. That wasn't my actual name, that's a title. There were other Marys, by the way. So, the fact that I have this angel show up 2.5 years ago, approximate, named Adonai, never heard the word, had no clue what it meant. And Gabriel had told me Adonai. Interesting, I thought Gabriel was joking around. He was actually telling me his name. Because Gabriel on his sigil says Adonai. And then I'm sitting there talking to Adonai in front of my son's best friend. And he corrects me out loud and says, it's Adonai. Fascinating, huh? So, Adonai, my other angel hanging about, is none other than Tammuz, aka Demuzid, aka Adonai, aka there's more, aka the Lion King David, and there's more. Adonai, there's the spelling for one of them. This spelling is on the sigil of Gabriel. And Elohim, El-Oah. And here we go with Yahweh. You know, the Bible, the way if you decode it, it looks like the governments are Yahweh or WHYH. And it just so happens that Yahweh is an Elohim. Possibly this one. Or is it this one? Adonai or Adonai? So Adonai is the plural form of Adon, meaning my Lord, and the name Elohim is the masculine plural form of Eloah. Since Adonai and Elohim are plural nouns, some Christians have used this as a foundation on which to build the Christian doctrine of the Trinity. The three of us are a Trinity. It's been talked about in the codes over and over again, calling us a Triforce and a Trinity. However, this finds little support among Bible scholars today. While these names are written in the plural form, they regularly employ singular verbs in Hebrew grammar and are singular in usage, therefore acting in usage as single nouns with single verbs. Many Bible scholars believed instead that these names represent a plural of majesty. See, what's interesting is not only do you have the tampering with the text, but then you got everybody's 2 cents. And they say, well, there's Adonai, and it means the same thing as Adonai, but I'm here to tell you it doesn't. Adonai is Gabriel. Adonai is somebody else. Those of royal blood. That's interesting, because the picture behind that is the Anunnaki and Archangels. Notice that some of them have wings and some of them don't. And that's an Anunnaki ship. The Anunnaki, those of royal blood, that's what the name means, are to be believed to be immortal gods that inhabited the earth during the ancient Sumerian time in Mesopotamia. I tell you this, they were here before that even. Way before. Way before. And they are those of royal blood. You know, it's interesting because they did blood work on the shroud. Another item that's claimed to have been with Jesus after the crucifixion. The blood type on that shroud is AB negative. AB negative. Make sure that sticks in your heads. Never stop asking the question why and never stop seeking. Tammuz actually made it into the Bible. So you get these weird little glimmers of truth between everybody's 2 cents and the tampering. You're lucky to get any. But Tammuz made it into Ezekiel 8:14. And they make it out to be something really bad in Ezekiel 8:14. Then he brought me to the entrance of the north gate of the house of the Lord, and I saw women sitting there mourning the god Tammuz. The vision of the idolatry in the temple. Again he told me, you will see them committing even greater abominations. Then he brought me to the entrance of the north gate of the house of the Lord, and I saw women sitting there weeping for Tammuz. And he said to me, do you see this Son of Man? You will see even greater abominations than these. Wow, so Ezekiel's saying the Son of Man, your Jesus, is an abomination. In the Bible, it says that. Interesting, right? All you have to do is connect some dots. That's all it takes to realize that your Bible has been heavily tampered with. Names have been changed around, reversed. Books have been left out. Totally fabricated books put in. And let's see, who's responsible for that? Take a guess. The most recent tampering has everything to do with Rome and the Vatican. King James Version, Selah, and Kyrie eleison on them. Yeah. The Son of Man, Tammuz, my husband. It makes sense that we incarnated together again, and he died again at the age of 33. Like I said in the last video, history has this really bizarre way of repeating itself, doesn't it? But this is the lies your Bible's telling you. Lie upon lie upon lie. Like I said, when I was a child, I knew that the ancient text and the words in that Bible were wrong. I knew something was very wrong. Instinctively knew it. You know, something interesting I can tell you about David, he knew it too. And he was agnostic. He didn't like the religions either, because they're telling you and teaching you lies. A lot of lies. He was seeking too while he was alive. And no, I don't believe he realized who he was in this incarnation. Except for maybe at the very end. What's really hard is he wouldn't let me see him. the last 2 weeks. Because he withered away to nothing but skin and bones. And the last time I saw him, it didn't even look like the same person. He suffered a lot again. Some other dots that I connected with Yahweh and Zeus. They're both storm gods. You know, the day he was crucified, I showed you all the pictures of the spaceships because they tried to save him on the day he was crucified. And they later did pick him up. You know, they described the event with an earthquake and clouds in the sky because they use clouds for cloaking the ships. Anyway, this article talks about and puts together the same correlation I did with Zeus and Yahweh. But this is the part I wanted to read. According to Yahweh, or according to Genesis, Yahweh has to reintroduce himself to man through Abraham, the father of the Jewish people. The only limits that Abraham's God has are what he placed on himself by giving mankind free will. That's what I told you guys about free will, because you do have free will. You always have that. He paradoxically controls the destiny of the universe without controlling the actions of individual human beings. He is a God of compassion and love, and he speaks to man in a whisper. Wow, funny. That's how Gabriel talks to me and Adonai, a whisper. Telepathy. But when they speak out loud to me, it is a whisper. Like when the Nomo ships showed up here, Gabriel leaned over. I was laying on my right side in bed, and he leaned over the bed and whispered in my ear, "Open your eyes." Man, did I get a big surprise. So did my son, because he just happened to be awake that morning at 4:22 a.m. because we tend to be night owls. And I yelled for him, and he got to see the ships too. But yeah, they use a whisper. He ensures justice to the weak and powerless. Because he demands all men to live righteous lives, he is often a God of wrath and judgment. But a repentant soul quickly finds forgiveness. He is a patient God as he works to develop the character of all who serve him as a father lovingly raises his child. Tammuz, later known by the alternate form Tammuz. Notice God associated with shepherds, right? Interesting. Connect the dots. And who was also the primary consort of the goddess Inanna, later known as Ishtar. Yeah, so it kind of makes sense, does it not? I don't know why I didn't put all that together and figure out who Adonai was sooner. I think, this past Monday was like major revelations. And one of those moments where I was completely overwhelmed. And it took me all week to really put all this in my head. Interesting that it all unfolded while I was researching Adonai so I could do a stream for you guys about Adonai. Little did I know who he was in this incarnation. So, if you want to know which of the archangels is Adonai, well, I could tell you this. It's interesting. The Protestants see Abaddon, Apollyon, same being. Don't know. Another take on it, I suppose. But guess what? Based on what I know, there's 3 here that got it right. The Restorationist, Seventh-day Adventist hold that the titles Michael and Archangel are in reference to, guess who? Jesus. Jehovah's Witnesses also believe Michael is another name for Jesus in heaven. And guess who else? That's right, the Mormons, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS Church. Archangel is meaning chief angel. Michael is the only individual so designated. And if you belong to any 3 of those, give yourself some congrats for that. But don't start jumping up and down too soon because you have much else wrong. But you did get that much right. So interesting, the trifecta, the Trinity, Gabriel, Michael, Adonai, and Inanna. One more thing I want to share with you guys today. I did good. I didn't cry too much. I told people, I said, I'm going to do my darndest not to cry today. I tell you what, yeah. You know, I've been talking about this song, Carrie, by, guess what? The name Mr. Here we go. Mr. Mister. Now you know why that band named themselves that. I showed it to you. What does Mr. mean? Adonai, right? Mr. Mister, the song Kyrie, Kyrie eleison. I told you what it means. It means Lord have mercy. Now, I want to go over this real quick with you guys. There's something I want to point out because some of you don't know, but I want you to know. This is the beginning of the song, and you watch him. Watch what he's doing as he's singing Kyrie eleison. There's a reason he's making that move right there. See what he's doing? Pointing up. By the way, see that face? Oh, something very interesting about this lead singer. He kind of reminds me of Gabriel in a whole lot of ways. His looks, the angular features, blonde hair, and personality too, interestingly enough, which you will see if you watch this video. He does a lot of goofing around. So do his band members, which is awesome. Letting your inner child out to play, the real you, really important. And they exhibit that in this video. But yeah, he freakishly kind of looks like him. Kind of freaked me out a bit. See, that's him goofing off right there. But you'll see it in the video if you watch it. Oh, that's the end. Let me find it. There's something else I wanted to show you guys. There's another song they do called Broken Wings. You should definitely pay attention to the symbolism in the video. There's something I wanted to show you and it passed it. I'll find it. Give me a sec. That's one thing he does that's kind of funny. There's something else though I wanted to show you guys. I might have to let it play through so I can show you. Gosh darn it. There's one more thing I wanted to show you in this. Well, he's doing it there. There's another place he does it. Interesting. There's a cross here in the sky. See it? I just now saw that. I didn't see that before. Interesting. Wow. I'll find it. Give me a second. Ah, here it is. Watch this. Pay attention. See what he did? Watch what he does. He points up and he looks up. And then the words Mr., meaning AKA Adonai, pop up right after that. Can't make this crap up, right? Oh, holy poop on a stick, as Gabriel says. Anyway, definitely, it's in my music playlist. This song's really important because it is in a frequency of 396, which is the 369 that Gabriel's been pointing me at. And they've been pointing me at a whole bunch more, too, dealing with that in frequency. Because, you know, here, I'll stop sharing screen. Okay. I hope that made sense to you guys. Check the chat, see how you guys are doing. Got some other stuff to talk about, too. Oh, a question. Do you think the band Mr. Mister was divinely inspired to make that song, Carrie? Damn right I do. Everything in that song, including the video, speaks volumes. And if you look at, well, you can look at all their stuff, but Broken Wings, check that one out. Look at the symbolism in there. Yeah. Yeah, they were divinely inspired. So now you guys kind of know what Gabriel looks like, kind of, sort of. There are a lot of similarities going on there, including the personality. Goofing off, joking around, likes to have a good time. Miss Deborah, can there be multiple incarnations at the same time? You mean of the same being? I've pondered that very question. I'll let you know what I find out. Perhaps Gabriel or Adonai will answer that. I hope so. Because I'd really like to know the answer to that one, too. In other words, I can't answer it for you, not yet anyway. I'll work on it. Like I said, it's about the truth, and I'm not going to tell you one way or another if I don't know myself. You know, frequency, whether it be sound or light frequency, it's the bridge. He is the bridge. Bank on it. Something else I wanted to talk about. You know, for me and those like me, it's been an amazing journey for all of us. I can't speak for all of us, but I have a feeling this is a shared thing. We don't cry easily. It takes a lot to get me there. And I suspect that the other incarnates, Archangel incarnates, supporting team incarnates, are all the same way. But this past week of revelations and things going on has been very overwhelming, very emotional. I've done a lot of crying this week. Others have too. A lot. A lot. And I'm going to tell you why we cry. We cry because what's been done down here to the fledglings. What's been done to the perfect Arcadia. We cry about the past incarnations. But we also, like I said, it's a mixed bag of reasons why we're crying. We're also crying out of joy, relief because we're finding each other, and the future. Because guess what? We win. It's checkmate. Make sure you guys visit those music videos, Carrie. Play it loud, play it often, sing it, dance, have joy in your lives. You won't be feeding the virus if you have those things. Because they do feed off your energy. The interdimensionals, they definitely feed off the negative energy. Okay? So fill your house with music, laugh, dance, bliss, and joy. Warmest fuzzies. To all of you. And infinite Terra. Terra is backward for hearts. The reverse language thing, it's a thing. What you have to do is listen to reverse language on some politicians and you'll see what I'm talking about. Or on EVPs. Reverse speech is the thing. The codes. That's the thing I was going to discuss today, the codes. An overwhelming amount of them on some days. And I have plans to try to group those into books. A true addendum to the ancient text. So the plan is to print them out and catalog them, along with the supporting things that help point out what certain things mean, including the codes within the codes as chapters of the main code. Quite an endeavor. It's probably going to require a professional grade business printer to handle it. I'm asking up there for one of those. And ink and paper. Because I think it's important that we get all these codes documented and what they're trying to say to us. I think it's more than just a little important. It's like really important. The code videos, right now to me, getting those codes in print is more important than about anything on the planet. There's a lot going on behind the scenes you guys don't know about, but that's one of them. It's an effort I'm going to try to do. It's going to be a big one. So much else going on behind the scenes. But, yeah. Be joyful, because we win. And like I said, that's written in the stars. You can bank on it. We make very good plans. No stone left unturned. Anyway, one more note. When I come across others like me, other incarnate angelics, I see it in their eyes. Eyes are a thing with me. And I see it in their eyes. In a personal message to someone that I'm fond of. I see myself in your eyes. Anyway, any other questions or anything today? It's so nice to spend the day with you guys. Hope you have an amazing week coming up. And remember what I said. Keep doing soul revocation. That inner work I've talked about so much in past videos. Finding the real you. And keep joy in your life. That Kyrie eleison and that 369 thing with the different frequencies. 369, 396, and 963, etc. They're important, really important. Anyway, check out the music playlist and the big picture playlist about the Anunnaki movie. And yeah, have an absolutely fantastic week coming up. And we'll see what this next week has in store for me. This past one's been a doozy, to say the least. Oh, Miss Raven says, do other people get codes that they aren't seeing, comprehending? Yes, but I have seen some people recently that are being woke up in the middle of the night, like I am, to get codes, which is amazing because they realize they're getting codes. They've connected that dot. Yeah, Sir Tony gets codes. St. John gets codes. Many are getting codes. Anyway, have a fantastic week. And you all know infinite terror from me, out past the stars and back, more times than you could possibly imagine. Okay? Yeah, yeah. Keep your senses on high alert. Because it's not just the code. You're going to get there's other things they try to show you besides the numbers. Okay? Anyway, if anybody needs me for anything, criticalbreak@outlook.com. And thank you so much for the wonderful comments and letters and questions. Like I said, don't stop asking why and don't stop seeking ever. Okay? Anyway, have a grand week. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.